Be aware.
วิธีรู้สึกตัวนะเราต้องทำกรรมฐานอะไรก็ได้ที่เราถนัดนะสักอย่างหนึ่ง
To be aware, one must have an object of meditation that is suitable to us, and then know so when the mind wander off. That is all. But if we do not have any object meditation, if we do not practice and let the mind wander, it will be difficult to notice that, to know that. If we have the object of meditation for the mind to stay with, such as mantra Buddha, such as your body, such as the breath, or knowing so of the feeling in the body, in the mind, or if anyone has a temperament of getting angry, you can know so when the mind is angry or not. You can know so, be aware when the mind is angry, when the mind is not angry. Have something for the mind to stay with. You can use the body, you can use the mind, you can use the feeling as the object. But to use Dharma as the object, that is difficult for this stage. You can do that when you're more skillful, when you understand more. So right now, pick the object of meditation that you like and let the mind stay with the object of meditation. Practice with that. The goal is not to be a good person, to be happy. The goal is to be aware. When the mind wanders away from the object of meditation, know so. When the mind is clinging to the object of meditation, sinking to the object of meditation, know so. Every time you know so, the mind becomes a stable observer. With that stable observer, then you can cultivate wisdom. Many of you have studied many years before the mind becomes a stable observer, because many start practicing wrong. Because every time you think of the practice, you think of sitting and meditate or just walking meditation. And the goal always, usually is to be calm, but that's not it. What we are practicing to be aware, to know so of the body and the mind, to attain the mind that is stable observer with the correct samadhi. Let's try it together right now. Use any object meditation that you prefer. When the mind wander away, it usually wander away to think, wander off to think. And when the mind is clinging to or sinking to the object of meditation, know so. Let's try it now. Number 7, your mind is sinking toward the object of meditation. It is trying to watch the object of meditation. Just be aware of the object of meditation. Know so of your mind as you practice. Know so when the mind is calm. Know so when the mind is restless. Know so when the mind is searching for the object to hold on to. Know so when the mind is sinking to the object. Know so, be aware of the mind as it is. Number 8, what you're doing is incorrect. You are trying to make the mind empty. You're still fabricating the mind. Don't fabricate the mind. Know so the mind as it is. And then later you will see how the mind fabricates on its own. But you try to fabricate the mind. When the mind fabricates on its own, you cannot see that. Many of the practitioners try to fabricate the mind to be still, to be calm, to be happy, or sometimes to be even to be aware. When you are fabricating the mind to be aware, that is not a true awareness. You don't have to fabricate the mind. Know so of the mind as it is. Number 6, the mind just wander off. That's wander off to think. Know so. You're not trying to stop it. Just know so. Number 8, you are holding on to the mind. That is fabricating the mind. That is not knowing the mind. You have listened to Luangpu for so long. Now it's time to start to really practice. You can use any object in meditation that you like. And know so of the mind. Know so when the mind wander away from the object of meditation. Know so when the mind is sinking to or attached to the object of meditation. Know so of that. Keep being aware, keep knowing so of the mind. What we will gain from this, what we will gain from practicing this way is to attain the correct samadhi or samma samadhi. You said that the 3 training that Buddhists we have to do is a training of the morality, training of the mind, and training to attain the wisdom. But many people do not understand the training of the mind. Many thought that to training of the mind is to attain samadhi. So many people aimed to attain samadhi, but that is not it. The way to practice is to practice and be aware of your mind. When the mind wanders off from the object of meditation, know so. When the mind is sinking to the object of meditation, know so. And what you will attain from practicing this is to attain the correct samadhi or samma samadhi, not the stillness, not the calmness. Practice with the mind that is an ordinary mind. Some of you are practicing with the mind that is not ordinary, not normal. Why do you need an ordinary mind to practice? Because the ordinary mind is already perfect to use as to practice. The ordinary mind is already the knowing mind. By itself, the mind is already a knower, but it is busy. It is not. It has lost its knowing ability because of the thoughts, because of the fabrication. As soon as you try to practice, the trying already make the knowing mind lost. Every time you try to fabricate the mind, you try to hold on to the mind, control the mind, then you will lose the mind that is ordinary. The mind becomes restless. The mind is pressure. So the first thing that we need to know, so to know the truth of the mind.
ที่เราปรุงแต่งจิตนะจิตประภัสสะ
We should
ที่
not,
ทำลาย
we must not
จิตโดยตัว
fabricate the
ของมัน
mind
สว่าง
because
ส
the
งบ
mind
โด
by
ยตัวของมั
itself
นเอง
is bright, it is peaceful already.
มันเศร้าหมองเพราะกิเลสที่
It is
จรมา
saddened because of the defilement that
ตอนนี้
tainted.
จิตของเรา มันเคยชินที่จะหลง
But
ในความปรุงแต่ง
usually our minds are
คน
lost
ใน
in
โลก
the fabrication. Most people
จิตมันป
fabricate
รุ
the
งแต่งอะไร
minds.
ไปแล้วก็ตัวเองก็หลงตามความปรุงแต่งไป
People in the world fabricate the minds
ป
and
รุง
be
รา
lost
คะก็
in
หลง
that
ตามราคะไป
mind.
ปรุงโท
For
สะ
example, when they
ก็หลงตาม
fabricate
โทสะไป
lust, they are lost in lust.
เนี่ยคน
When
ใน
they
โลก
fabricate anger,
มันหลง
they are
ตาม
lost
ความ
in
ปรุงแต่งของ
anger.
จิตเพราะไม่มี
So
ส
most
ติรู้
people
ทัน
are lost in their own
ส่วน
fabrication.
นักปฏิบัติ กลั
For
บข้ามกัน
practitioners, it is the
คือ
opposite
ผู้พยายาม
from
เข้าไป
most
ปรุ
people
ง
in the
แต่ง
world
จิตเสียเอง
because practitioners, we have the trying.
คนไม่ปฏิบัตินะ
We
หลง
are
ความปรุงแต่งของจิต
with this trying,
นั
we
กปฏิบัติ
fabricate the
หลง
mind
เข้าไปปรุง
already.
แต่งจิต จิตไม่สุขก็พยายามแต่งให้สุข จิตไม่
Like
สงบ
when the
แต่ง
mind is
ให้
not
สงบ
happy, we try to
จิต
fabricate
ไม่
the
ดี
mind,
ทำให้ดี
change the mind to be happy. When the mind is not
มี
good, we
คำว่า
try
ธร
to
รม เกิด
change
ขึ้น
the mind to be happy.
อะไรอยู่เบื้องหลังคำว่าธรรม
That
จิ
is
ต
a
ไม่ดี ทำ
doing.
ให้ดี จิ
We
ตไม่
try
ส
to
งบ
change
ทำให้สง
something
บ
from
จิตไม่สุข
something
ทำให้สุ
from
ข
unwholesome to be
เห็นไหม
wholesome,
มันมีคำว่าธรรม
from unhappy to be happy.
เบื้องหลั
See,
ง
there
คำว่า
is
ธร
a
รม ก็คือ
doing
โลภะ
here.
ความโลภ
Behind
คือ
this
ปัญหา
doing is actually greeting,
อยากสุข อยาก
wanting
สงบ
to
อยา
be
กดี อยา
happy,
กรู้ อ
to
ยาก
be
เห็น อยาก
calm,
เป็น อ
to
ยาก
be
ได้
good, to understand,
มีควา
to
มอยากเกิด
achieve.
ขึ้น
When there's a
เราก็เข้า
wanting,
ไปปรุงแต่งจิต
we fabricate the mind right away.
เดี๋ยวนักปฏิบัติกับคนที่ไม่ปฏิบัติต่างกันนะ
So there is a difference between the
คน
practitioners
ที่ไม่ป
and
ฏิบัติเนี่ย
other people in the
หล
world.
งไป
Other
ตาม
people
ค
in
วาม
the
ปรุง
world,
แต่งของจิต
they are lost
จิตมันปรุงไปตามความเคย
from
ชิ
their
น
own fabrication because
เค
of
ย
their
ชินที่จะ
habit.
โลภ
When they
มัน
habit,
ก็ปรุงโลภขึ้นมา
they
แล้ว
have
จิ
a
ตก็
habit
หลงไป
of
ตามอำนาจของ
having
โล
a
ภ
lot of lust, then they
ไม่
or
เคยชิน
greed,
ที่จะโกรธ
they will fabricate
พอเขา
greed,
โกรธ
lust,
เรา
and
โกร
they
ธ
will
ขึ้นมา
they would be lost in that.
จิตก็เคยชิน ไหลไปตามความโกรธ ไปอาละวาด
If a
เนี่ย คนที่
person
ไม่ ป
is
ฏิบั
have
ติ
a
นะ
habit of getting angry, they
จิตมันปรุง
fabricate
อะไรขึ้นมา
anger, and they would be lost
เบื้อ
in
งหลังมันชอบ
anger,
นำ
and they
ไป
would shout and explode, be lost in their own
ส่วนนัก
anger.
ปฏิบัติกลับข้าม
But
กั
for
น
practitioners, it's
พ
the
ยายาม
opposite.
เข้าไปปรุงแต่งจิต
Practitioner try to fabricate the mind
ให้ดี ให้สุข ให้สงบ
to be good, to be calm,
รวมกว่าแล้วยังหนีความปรุงแต่งไม่พ้น
but still that is a fabrication.
ชาวบ้านทั่วไปมันจิตมันปรุงแต่งโดยไม่ได้เจตนา
Other people,
ก็
they
ปรุง
didn't
ไป
mean
ตา
to
ม
fabricate their
สัญ
mind.
ญาอารมณ์เก่า
The fabricating
ๆ
of
ตา
the
มอนุ
mind,
สัยกรรม
it
เก่า
happens because of their habits.
ในขณะที่นักปฏิบัตินะ
But
อ
for
ยากดี
practitioners, they want to be
ก็
good.
เลยไปปรุงแต่งให้จิตมัน
So
ส
they
งบ สว่าง
fabricate the
ให้มัน
mind to
นิ่
be
ง
still,
ให้มันมีควา
to
ม
be
สุข
bright, to be happy.
เราอย่าไปปรุงแต่งจิตนะ
But let's not fabricate the
จิตเป็นยั
mind.
งไงรู้ว่าเป็นอย่างนั้น ทำกรร
Know
ม
the
ฐานไป
mind as it is.
จิ
Have
ตไหล
the
ไป
object
คิ
of
ด รู้
meditation
ว่าไหล
to
ไปคิด
practice.
ไม่
No, so
ห้าม
when the mind
ไหลได้
wander off to think, we're not
จิต
trying
ไหล
to
ไปคิ
stop
ด รู้
it.
ว่าไหลไปคิด
Just know so that the
จิ
mind
ตไหล
is
ไปคิด
lost
ไป
in
จ้อง
thought.
อารมณ์กรรมฐาน
Know
ไหล
so
เข้า
when
ไป
the
นั่
mind
ง
is
กับอารมณ์กรรม
trying.
ฐาน
Know so when the mind is
เพื่อให้
sinking
รู้
to the
ว่า
object.
จิตไหลเข้าไป
Just
กับอาร
know
มณ์กรรม
so.
ฐานแล้ว เนี่ยฝึกตัวนี้ให้เยอะ ๆ นะ
Practice this a
ฝึก
lot.
รู้ทัน
Keep knowing so.
จิตหนีไปจากอารมณ์กรรมฐานรู้ทัน
When the mind
จิ
wander
ตไหล
off
ไป
from
เพ่ง
the
จ้องไป
object,
แนบ
know
อยู่กับ
so.
อารมณ์กรรม
When the
ฐานรู้
mind
ทัน
is focusing, clinging to the object of
แล้วคราวเนี้ย
meditation, know
เราจะไม่
so.
ปรุงแต่งจิต
And then you will
เมื่อเราไม่เข้าไปป
fabricate,
รุง
you
แต่ง
will
จิต
not no longer fabricate
จิ
the
ตก็อยู่
mind.
ในสภาพดั้งเดิม
When we
คือประ
fabricate
ภัส
the
สะ
mind, when we don't fabricate the mind return to its originality, which is already a knower, bright and happy.
พูดเท่าไหร่ก็ยากนะ ต้องไปดูของจริง
It is difficult to put this in
ไป
words.
ทำกร
You
รม
have
ฐา
to
นชั่วโมง
practice
หนึ่ง
yourself to see.
จิตหนีไปก็รู้
So have the object of
จิตถลำไป
meditation
เพ่
to
งอารมณ์กรรม
practice
ฐานก็รู้
and know so after
รู้เฉย
mind. When the mind
ๆ รู้
wander
แล้วไม่
off,
ต้องทำอะไร
when the mind is clinging to the object. When you know so, you don't have to try to fix it. You don't have to hold on to it. When it is correct, you don't have to try to hold on to it.
ไปทำให้เยอะๆ
Keep practicing a lot.
อยู่กับโลก
You can be with the world, and if you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can practice right away. You don't have to wait until before you go to bed to practice. Collect it throughout the day. To collect your practice throughout the day. When Luang Pu was a lay person, Luang Pu had the object of meditation, which is the breath and Buddha. The day when Luang Pu's mind was restless, Luang Pu added the numbers as he practiced, as he breathed in Buddha and breathed out till he count 1. And he said, breathe in Buddha, breathe out till he said 2. He didn't practice to try to control the mind or try to make the mind to be calm. That is the key. If you practice with the goal that you want to have the mind that is calm, that is the wrong goal. The objective is to know the mind as it is. When the mind is restless, know so. When the mind is calm, know so. As Luang Pu practice counting, stay with the breathing and counting the numbers, and he keep counting it until the number is 100. But usually before he reached number 100, the mind is calm on its own by number 28. And he was able to attain correct samadhi.
สติปัฏฐานเราลงมือทำนะ
The foundation of mindfulness, you have to start practice on this because it is the only way toward this path, toward the path of liberation. There's no other way. So to practice the full foundation of mindfulness, the first thing you need is to have the object in meditation. You can have the breath, you can use the movement of the body. No, so as the body moves, no, so when the body stops, you can use that too. If you're skillful in the samadhi, you can use the mind that is with or without samadhi as the object in meditation. If you have this deeper samadhi, it's called upachara samadhi in Thai. When the mind is with this samadhi, know when the mind is without this samadhi. Or if you can enter jhana, you can be aware of the mind that is entering within the jhana or is out of the jhana. But this level is more difficult. It is suitable for people who can enter jhana. But most people who cannot attain jhana, you can use anything that is easier, that is more apparent to you to observe. For example, the defilement. You can be aware when the mind is with anger, when the mind is without anger, when the mind is restless. You can be aware of that. When the mind is not restless, you can know so of that. Just know so of the mind as it is. You're not trying to control the mind. When you can practice it skillfully, then next step is to train to cultivate the wisdom. So with the full foundation of mindfulness, train to be aware. At first, you will attain sati or mindfulness. And the next thing you will attain is the wisdom. So as you practice, for example, as you breathe in, you can be aware. As you breathe out, you can be aware. As you are sitting now, you can be aware that the body is sitting. You can be aware as the body is standing up, the body walks, the body laying down. You can be aware of that. When the mind is sinking to clinking to the body, you can be aware of that. If you keep being aware of the mind, the first thing you will gain is sati, correct sati, and you will also attain the correct samadhi. So you must have the object of meditation for you to practice with. And don't fabricate the mind. Keep practicing consistently. Before หลวงพ่อ met หลวงปู่ดุล หลวงพ่อ learned the breathing meditation from Master Lee. He was หลวงพ่อ 's first teacher, but หลวงพ่อ didn't learn a lot from หลวงพ่อ Lee. But หลวงพ่อ was very young then when หลวงพ่อ met Master Lee. Venerable หลวงพ่อ Lee taught หลวงพ่อ Pramote to practice the breathing meditation. But after the master taught หลวงพ่อ practiced every day without stop. หลวงพ่อ really liked to practice. Whenever หลวงพ่อ had time, หลวงพ่อ would practice. If you see หลวงพ่อ picture when หลวงพ่อ was a student in school, หลวงพ่อ would sit by the soccer field and meditate. Some of หลวงพ่อ 's friends took หลวงพ่อ picture when he was in school. That หลวงพ่อ would always practice whenever he had time. Even when หลวงพ่อ was in the primary school, he was class. They call it from the number 1 to 3. หลวงพ่อ was the third class since the school start. หลวงพ่อ school was located in the same facility as a temple. And when หลวงพ่อ look at the Buddha statue in school, หลวงพ่อ would sit and meditate and looking at the statue, the Buddha statue. He was breathe in and out, and he would know so. And หลวงพ่อ Snow mind would arise. Actually, หลวงพ่อ Snow mind arise when หลวงพ่อ realized that he attained the Noah mind. He was only 10 years old. At that time, there was a fire near his home. He was playing with the rocks with the neighbor kids. And when there was a fire, หลวงพ่อ was scared. หลวงพ่อ took off and ran to tell his father. The first step, หลวงพ่อ was still scared and was not away. Second step, he was not away. But by the third step, หลวงพ่อ was aware of his body moving, and the mind was awakened, and there was a knower arise on its own. So หลวงพ่อ saw that his mind attained a knower when he was 10 years old. At first, หลวงพ่อ too, when he first started to practice, he wanted the mind to be calm. But later on, as he practiced so he can be aware. When he was 7 years old, as he practiced, at first he was aware of the breath and he was counting the number. As his mind calmed down more, the number was lost, and he stayed with the breath. And then the breath, as it was more calm, the breath disappeared, and there was only the light remained. Andหลวงพ่อ was able to control the light. He can make it bright. He can make it more intense. He could make the light so thin as the needle. หลวงพ่อ was able to do that when he was very young.
แล้วคราวนี้พวกนิมิตจะเกิด
And Luangpu started to see a vision from playing with this. It's not just a vision like the image. The vision in samadhi, it could mean something else other than the images. The images is that people see from the vision. It could be the angel, the ghost, heaven or hell. But you do not trust the vision as long as we still the defilement. The vision can fool us, can trick us. The vision in Buddhism in samadhi perspective, it also includes sound and smell. For example, if you are sitting and do the sitting meditation, suddenly you may smell something foul, like the smell of the rotten body. If you ever smell the odor of the human rotten body, it is very foul. And also it has a bitter taste after taste as you breathe in. You breathe like that. There's a bitterness would leave in the throat. So the human body is very foul, more foul than any other beings. So sometimes the visions in the meditation, it could mean not just the image. It also includes the smell, the feeling, the touch, or the taste. For example, when you eat rice, just plain rice, when you have sati and samadhi, a lot of that, you may feel that even just plain rice tastes so good. Or sometimes it's the contact. For example, if you are practicing samadhi and your body is aching, as you extend your leg, you may have a vision that someone is giving you a massage. As you open your eyes, you may see that there is a dent, like someone's pressing on your legs. Are these visions true? You cannot tell. So the visions can be the images, the taste, the smell, the touch, or the feeling. Like if you're in somewhere in very hot and you are practice samadhi, or somewhere when you are very cold and you practice samadhi, you may feel warm. Also, the visions or nimitta can be the Dharma phenomena. For example, you may recall of the past life. Have you ever noticed that most people who claim that they recall their past life, they always say that their past life they were someone important, or they will say that that person was my former spouse in the past life. But don't believe that. Don't believe your visions. The visions can fool us. It can delay us from the path. So as you practice, if there are any visions that arise, don't welcome it. Don't deny it. Observe your mind, how it reacts to the vision. For example, if you have a vision of seeing heaven, observe the mind. If the mind is happy to see the image of heaven, know so that the mind is happy. If the vision is not the true vision, as you know so of the mind, that vision would disappear. For example, if you're sitting, as you're sitting and giving a Dharma talk, if you see a body of a person bowing to you in front of you, if you are aware of the mind, if it's the mind tricking you, fooling you, then that body would disappear. But if the body stay there, so it could be that there is really something there. But you don't have to welcome the vision, you just know so of it as it is. So the key is to have the object in meditation for the mind to practice with. And if the vision arises, don't be fooled by the visions. When you practice samatha, visions often try to fool us. When you practice vipassana, there's another thing called vipassana. There are 10 of them that can trick you if you practice vipassana without enough samadhi. You can look it up. You can look it up online. What are they? But as you practice samatha, and if you have a vision arising, you can observe your mind, how the mind reacts to the vision. For vipassana, as you try to practice vipassana or cultivating wisdom, some people have vipassana of the mind expanding, brightening, and expanding. That is practicing without having enough samadhi. Luangpu had experienced it all. If you practice vipassana, people usually run into this. It may make you feel like you have a lot of wisdom, that you know all the Dharma. This Dharma is linking to another chapter. You know all the Dharma teaching. But if you observe the mind, it will feel like you are holding on to a lot of textbooks. It is too heavy. So even the knowledge, when you know, so you gain any knowledge, you can just, after you know it, you attain the knowledge, you can let it go. Don't worry about it. Whatever arises, let it go. We are not practicing to gain knowledge. We are practicing to be liberated, to let go. Sometimes when Luangpu Sati was very strong, Luangpu could not sleep. When Luangpu looked at the air, Luangpu was able to see the air particles separating. Because Luangpu's mental strength was very strong. Vipassana, it happened when the mind is not within itself, when there's no samma samadhi. So we have to train the mind by having the object in meditation to practice with. No, so as the mind is clinging to the object of meditation, no, so when the mind wander off. At first, when you start to practice, it would take a long time for you to be aware that the mind was lost. But as you are more skillful, you will know as soon as the mind wander off, as soon as the mind sinking to the object, and then you attain the correct sati and correct samadhi. For example, when the mind wander off to think, when you know so, the mind that was lost disappear. The mind that is with the correct samadhi, that the mind that is with the knower, that is a stable observer will arise. the correct samadhi or samma samadhi would
เราหล
arise.
งแล้วเรารู้หลงแล้วรู้บ่อย
So if you keep
ๆ
practicing knowing so when the
มัน
mind
จะ
is
ตั้งมั่น
lost, if you keep
มันจะ
knowing
เห็น
so when every time when the
ความ
mind
ส
is
ว่างรู้
lost,
เนื้อรู้ตัวขึ้นมา
your mental strength
แล้วคราว
will
เนี้ยเราถึงพร้อมที่จะเจ
you
ริญ
can
ปัญญา
attain more mental strength and the correct
การเจ
samadhi
ริญ
will
ปัญญาใน
arise.
เบื้องต้น เราจะเห็น
And when you
ขัน
have
ธ์
a
มันแยก
knower, you can cultivate
เราเห็น
wisdom.
ขันธ์แยก
The
ก็
first
ความ
thing
จริง
people
ขันธ์แยก
usually
อยู่แล้ว
see is
ขันธ์ห้า
that
เนี่ยมันแยกกันอยู่แล้ว มันถึงชื่อว่าขัน
the
ธ์
five
ขันธ์แปล
aggregates
ว่าส่วน
are
เพราะ
five
ฉะนั้นขันธ์
separate
ห้านั้น
things.
ก็คือห้าส่วนมันแยกกันอยู่แล้ว
It,
แต่
we
เราไป
call
ห
it
มายรู้ผิด
aggregates
เราไป
because
รู้
they
ตรงที่
are
แยก
already
ร
separated.
วบขันธ์ห้าเข้า
But
มาผิด
because
ถู
we
กถู
have
ก
the
ต้อง
wrong view, the
แล้
wrong
วก็เลยหมายรู้
understanding,
ผิด
we
ว่า
thought
เป็น
that
ตัว
the
เรา
five aggregates are
คิ
one,
ดผิดว่าเป็น
and
ตัว
we
เรา
thought that
เชื่อผิด
the
ว่า
five
เป็น ตัวเรา
aggregates are us.
เลย
We
คิด
thought
ว่า
that
ตัวเรา
that
มี
is
อยู่
a
จ
self.
ริง
We thought
ๆ ใน
that
ความ
that
เป็นจ
is
ริง
the
ตัว
self,
เรา
that is
ไม่มี
us.
แล้ว
But
ก็ไม่เคยมี
the
ด้วย
truth is there's no us,
มีแต่
there's
ค
no
วาม
me, there's no
หมาย
self.
รู้ผิดว่ามีเรา มีแต่คิด
That's
ผิ
only
ด
the
ว่า
wrong
มีเรา
view,
มีแต่เชื่อ
the
ผิด ว่า
wrong
มีเรา
view that thought that that is a
นี่
me,
ทันทีที่
that
จิต
is
ข
a
องเราตั้ง
self.
มั่น นะ
As soon as
อ
you
ย่างเรา
have
ทำกรรม
the
ฐานไป หลง
mind
แล้
that
ว
is a
รู้ หลง
stable
แล้วรู้ไปเรื่อย
observer,
อย่างเงี้ย
from knowing
หล
so when
ง
the
ไป
mind
คิด
is
ก็รู้ ไป
lost,
คิด
know
ก็
so
รู้
when the
ขึ้น
mind
บ่
is
อย
sinking
ๆ จิ
to
ต
the
ของเราตั้ง
object,
มั่น
as the more you
สติ
practice,
เป็น
the
ตัว
more
รู้
you
ทั
will
นว่าหลง
attain
นะ
the mind
อา
that is stable
พอรู้ทันปุ๊
observer.
บ จิตไม่หลงแล้ว จิตก็ตั้งมั่น งั้นมีสัมมาสติ มันก็มีสัมมาสมาธิเกิด
When
ขึ้
you
น
have the correct sati,
สัมมาสมา
you
ธิ
will
เมื่อ
also
เราสั่งสม
attain
ให้มาก
correct samadhi.
หลงแล้วรู้บ่อย ๆ ทำให้เยอะ
You can attain this
ๆ
by
ทำหลาย
knowing
วัน
so
หลาย
every
เดือน หลาย
time
ปี ทำ
the
ไป
mind
เรื่
is
อย
lost. Keep
ๆ เมื่อ
knowing
จิตมัน
so
ตั้งมั่น
for
แล้วมันมี
days,
กำ
for
ลังอ
months,
อก
for
นะ
years.
ขัน
As
ธ์
soon
มัน
as
จะ
you
แยกให้
have
ดู มันจะแยกให้ดู
enough mental
ทั้
strength,
ง ๆ ที่ในความเป็
the
นจริ
five
ง
aggregates will
มันแยก
separate
กันอยู่แล้วล่ะ
for you to see.
เราหมายรู้ผิด เราคิดผิด
Even
เราเชื่อ
though
ผิดว่า
the
ว่า
five
ไอ้ขันธ์
aggregates
ห้า
are
เนี่ยคือ
already
ตัวเรา
separate, but we are
นี่พอจิตตั้ง
blind
มั่นปุ๊บ
because we cannot
ส
see
ติ
that
ระลึกรู้
without
ทั
the
น
enough mental strength,
ปัญ
without
ญา
the
จะ
samma
เกิด
samadhi.
จะเห็นว่ากายก็อันหนึ่ง
When
จิตก็
we
อันหนึ่ง
have when there is samma samadhi
จิตตั้งมั่น
and
อยู่ สติระ
we
ลึกรู้
cultivate
เวทนา
wisdom, you can
ก็
see
จะ
the
เห็น
five
ว่าเวทนา
aggregates
ก็
as
อันหนึ่ง
separate.
จิตก็อันหนึ่
You
ง
will see that
กายก็เป็นอีกอันหนึ่ง ค
the
นละอันกัน
mind is one thing, the body is
จิ
one
ตตั้ง
thing,
มั่
the
นอยู่ ส
feeling
ติ
is
ระลึ
one
กรู้
thing,
สังขาร กุศล อกุศลนะ
the mental
ก็จะเห็น
formation
กุ
is
ศล อ
one
กุศล
thing.
เกิดปัญญาเห็น กุศล อกุศลไม่ใช่จิต
And you can
เป็
see
นสิ่ง
that
ที่จิตไป
the
รู้เข้า
wholesomeness,
จิตอยู่ต่างหาก
unwholesomeness,
กุ
they
ศ
are
ล อ
not
กุ
the
ศล
mind. The
เป็น
mind
อี
is
กสิ่ง
one
หนึ่ง
thing.
กุ
Wholesomeness,
ศล อกุศลไม่ใช่
unwholesomeness
ร่างกาย
is
ไม่
another
ใช่จิต
thing.
ใจ ไม่ใช่
They
ควา
are
ม รู้
not
สึ
the
ก สุข ทุ
mind.
กข์
They are not the
นะ
body.
เนี่ยเราจะเห็น ขันธ์
They
มั
are
นกระ
not
จา
the
ยตัว
feeling. You will see
นะ
the five
รูปส่วน
aggregates
รูป เวท
separate.
นา ส่วนเวทนา
The
สัญ
body
ญา
is
ตัวนี้ก็
is
สัญ
one
ญานิดหนึ่
thing.
ง
The
เว้นไว้
mental
ก่อน
formation is
สัง
one
ขาร
thing.
คือความปรุงดีปรุงชั่ว อย่างเงี้ย
The
เราจะเห็น
mental
ว่านั่นคือจิต
formation is one thing. It's
ดูไป
not the
เรื่อย
mind.
ๆ นะ
Keep
ตัวนี้เป็น
observing
ปัญญา
this.
ขั้นต้น
This is the wisdom. The
การที่เรา
beginning
สามารถ
of
แยกขันธ์
cultivate
ได้
wisdom
เป็
is
น
the
ปัญญา
beginning
ขั้น
of
ต้น
cultivating wisdom
ยังไม่
is
ได้เป็นวิปัสสนา
separating
นะ
aggregates. That
แย
is
ก
not
ขันธ์ได้ไม่
really
ใช่วิปัสสนานะ
vipassana.
ตั้งหลักให้ดี
Separating aggregates
วิปัสส
is
นา
not
ต้องเห็นไตร
vipassana.
ลักษณ์
Vipassana
คือเห็นความ
is
จริง
when you
ของ
see
ธาตุของขันธ์
the
แต่ละ
three
ตัว
characteristics
ลำพังเห็นตัวธาตุ
or
ตั
the
วขันธ์แต่
truth
ละตัวเนี้ย
of
ยัง
all
ไม่เห็น
things.
ความจริงของมัน
When
อันนี้
only
เป็น
you
ปัญญา
see
ขั้นต้น
the
นะ
aggregates by
คือ
itself,
เห็
that
นว่า
is
ร่างกายกับจิตเป็นคนละอันกัน ร่าง
the
กายเป็นปก
wisdom,
ติ
the
รู้สึก
beginning
อยู่
of cultivating wisdom.
เห็นว่ามันเป็นของถูกรู้ถูกดู
That you see
แต่
the
ยังไม่ได้เห็น
aggregates
ไตรลักษณ์ ยังไม่เป็นวิปัสสนา
separating, but you don't see the three
แล้วตอนที่วิปัส
characteristics
สนา
that comes
เกิด
with
มัน
the
เกิดยังไง
aggregates yet.
ที่จิตเรามี
Vipassana
ส
is
มาธิ
when
มากพอ
you
นะ อย่างเราเห็นร่างกายเคลื่อน
recognize
ไหว
that the five
จิตมีส
aggregates
มาธิ
fall
มากพอ
also fall
ปั
under
ญ
the
ญา
three
จะเกิด
characteristics.
ปัญญาตัวนี้
That
เป็นวิ
will
ปัสสนา
arise
ปัญ
when
ญา
we
จะ
have
เกิดขึ้น
enough wisdom.
คือจะเห็นว่าเอ๊ะร่างกายที่เคลื่อนไหวอยู่เนี่ยไม่เที่ยงเป็นทุกข์เป็นอนัต นัตตาเห็นอย่างใดอย่างหนึ่งก็พอ
The
ไม่ต้องเห็นสาม
vipassana
อย่าง
moment is when you see, for
แต่
example,
ที่หล
see
วง
the
พ่อภาว
body
นาหลวงพ่อเห็นอ
that
นั
it
ต
fall
ตา
under the three
เมื่อไป
characteristics. It is
เป็นอนัตตา
non-self, it is suffering,
จิต
it
ก็
is
เป็นอนัตตา
impermanent. You can see
สัญ
any
ญา สัง
aspect of
ขา
the
ร
three
เวทนา
characteristics. That is vipassana. Whenever if you can separate the aggregates and you see that each aggregate fall under the three characteristics, that is the true vipassana. If you only see the aggregate separating, like you see the body is moving, that is not vipassana. Although you already know that the body and the mind are two separate things, that is not vipassana yet. But when you attain the stable observer, the knower that have enough strength, you will see that the five aggregates fall under the three characteristics, that they are impermanent, non-self, and suffering. Like when you take a breath, when you breathe in, you have to change to breathing out, to run away from suffering. Why do we have to breathe in and then we have to breathe out? Why we have to breathe out and then breathe in? Because we want to escape suffering. The body is always pressure to change. So if you take a long deep breath, it suffers. So you have to breathe out. If you sit for a long time, the body starts to suffer. You have to move. As you laying in the bed, you have to shift the body to also to run away from suffering. So the body movement actually blind us from seeing the suffering of the body. So you don't see that actually this body is nothing but suffering, because every time the body starts to suffer, we change our body. But if you are mindful that you want to change your posture, you can be aware that the body is pressure to change. It is suffering. In every breath that we take, in every breath that we breathe in and out, so the body always pressure to change, to shift, to run away from suffering. If you can see this is the wisdom cultivating. That is vipassana practice. For example, Luangpu have a lot of samadhi. Luangpu have a lot of mental strength, and it is used to cultivating wisdom. When the mind was a stable observer, he saw that his body is just like a robot moving. It's not him. It's not self. It's just a thing that have the element coming in and out. If you practice the foundation of mindfulness using the body, you have to have a lot of samadhi, enough samadhi to be able to see that this body is not self, is not a human, is not animal, is not a being. It's just element coming in and out. It's just a thing. It's like a robot. But if you can start practicing by being aware of the body, and contemplate by, for example, non-self. You can contemplate that this body is full of suffering. This body is not under our control. Sometimes the body gets sick. We cannot tell the body not to get sick. The same thing goes to when you observing the mind. The mind is not under our control. So when you have the mind that is a knower, a stable observer, you can contemplate using the perception and interpretation that the mind is also fall under the three characteristics. So you need to have the correct, the memory, perception, interpretation. You have to have the correct aggregate of this aggregate has to be correct for you to see the right view. These aggregates
คิดเอาไม่ได้มีปัญญา
In Pali is called sanya.
แต่ถ้าเราภาวนาเราจะรู้เลยว่าสัญญาเนี่ยจำเป็นสำหรับวิปัสสนา
Sanya is actually important to cultivate vipassana because sanya or the memory, perception, and interpretation, you have to have the right one to cultivate vipassana. That all things fall under the three characteristics.
หรือบางท่านมันไม่ยอมหมายรู้ท่านก็เจตนาหมายรู้
One may not have that yet. So, for example, the master from the forest traditional temples, they don't have this aggregate yet. So they intentionally contemplate the body, that the body fall under the three characteristics. But the true vipassana is when it arises without trying. But one can train at first by intentionally contemplate, apply the right understanding, right perception, interpretation to contemplate things. When you do not have enough samadhi, as you try to cultivate vipassana, one do not realize that the mind has been out. So once if you don't have enough samadhi, you have to do more samadhi. In conclusion, have the object meditation for the mind to practice with. The more you practice, then you can attain the mind that is with Samma Samadhi and the mind that is a stable observer. And you can use this to cultivate wisdom. And the more you cultivate wisdom, until one day you can practice vipassana. To practice vipassana is not from thinking. The mind will understand things, recognize things on its own. Luang Pai first tried to give a Dharma talk shorter because the staff said, Luang Pai, don't talk too much because you're getting older. You should reserve your energy. That is just a bird sound. And Luang Pai said that that's just the sound just came into the temple, to the hall. Now, homework reviewing time. Number 1, I chant and sit and meditate every day. I stay aware of the breath for half an hour. Throughout the day, I am mindful of the body and the mind. Recently, I have observed happiness and suffering are just merely phenomena that come and go. The mind is more equanimous. At times, I'm still lost in emotions, but once I know so, I can see that the mind was lost. And the mind that knows are different from the mind that knows is different. Am I practicing correctly? Luang Pai replied, yes, you practice correctly. But you know that you are fabricating the mind right now? That fabricate the mind yourself. The mind already fabricate itself by itself and on its own. If you fabricate the mind, then you cannot see that the mind is fabricating itself on its own. So keep knowing so. Know so as you fabricating the mind. You don't have to try to fix it. Know so when you are trying to fix it. Know so as it is. Be innocent. Just know it as it is. Don't be afraid that you will miss anything. Can you see that you're still fabricating the mind to be still? Number 1, you practice very well. Luang Pai trying to give you tips so you can progress more in your practice. Number 2, I practice by chanting. When thought arises, I know so. When the mind is thinking, I know so. While meditating, sometimes I listen to Luang Pai's Dharma talk. Other times I listen to the teaching assistant's talk. The mind wanders off into thought. I know it is thinking and return to listening. Am I practicing correctly? Luangpa replied, yes. But what if one day you don't have electricity, you don't have internet? How are you going to listen to the Dharma talk? Use the object of meditation. If you use my Dharma talk as the object of meditation, you can only use it temporarily because you still have to rely on something externally. If you lose that thing, how are you going to practice? So the object of meditation, you should use your own body and your mind. Keep practicing and use the thing that is within your body and your mind as the object of meditation. In the past, Luangpa ran into this monk. Luangpa did not know him. Luangpa met him at the Sirirat hospital. As Luangpa walked past this monk, he was laying down on the hall. And he had a breathing apparatus attached to him. As Luangpa walked past this monk, at first Luangpa didn't pay attention to that monk. And then Luangpa realized, oh, he looked very good. And then he turned around and said, oh, that monk, although he was ill, but his mind was so clear, so bright. So Luangpa paid respect to this monk. Luangpa was a lay person then. And Luangpa asked, Master, what do you use as your object of meditation? Practitioner, you don't have to have a lot of introduction. You can go straight to the point. So Luangpa asked, Master, what do you use as your object of meditation? That monk replied, I use Buddha. What about you? What do you use? Luangpa replied, I use breathing meditation. And that monk asked, what if one day you cannot breathe on your own? How are you gonna practice then? And Luangpa said, oh, that's right. With Buddha, you can contemplate, although you cannot breathe. So any object of meditation that is suitable to you is the object that you can use all the time. If you use YouTube as the object of meditation, you cannot use it all the time. Or if you don't have the equipment, your mobile phone ran out of the battery, how are you going to practice? So use the object meditation within yourself. Oh, Luangpa just check number 3's homework. Those reply that is for number 3. Sorry, because the picture of number 2, number 3 move. Number 2, you keep practicing. Be aware. As you grow older, the mind is easily lost. The object meditation that is good for someone older is to use the body. As the body moves, no so. As the body stops moving, no so. You can have the CD, have the Dharma talk in the background. It's okay to have that. But the more important thing is to have the object meditation, no so as the body moves, know the movement of the body. Number 3, you are still holding. Let the number 3 ask a little. Number 3, every day I observe precepts and practice formally by observing the body breathing and count from 1 to 10. I can practice samatha for short periods. I try to maintain mindfulness in daily life and have become less focused and tense in my observation. Recently, I have felt that having a body and mind is a burden. There is a sense of suffering. The mind is not equanimous toward it. I try to observe it and see that the suffering sometimes is intense, sometimes is weaker, sometimes disappear. Please tell me if I practice correctly. Luangpu replied, you practice correctly, but sometimes the mind moved away from the base. Can you tell? It's moving outward. When the mind is moving outward, the mind is not really cultivating wisdom because the mind is not a stable observer. The phenomena that when you have the mind that is stable observer, all the phenomena that comes and go, they fall under the three characteristics. You will see that when the mind is a stable observer. When the mind is moving out, and you try to cultivate vipassana, that is when vipassana arises because you don't have enough samadhi. Don't try to pull the mind in. Just know so that the mind is out. Just know the mind as it is. Can you tell that the mind is out? If you can see that is, then you don't have any problem. No, so if the mind is out, then the mind will return on its own. When the mind returns on its own, the mind can cultivate wisdom. Very good. The mind is right here within itself. That is correct. Number 4. Every day I committed to observe the 5 precepts. For more practice, I practice by walking meditation. During the day, I use the body as my object in meditation, being aware as the body moves and when it is still. When I try or want to practice, a dull, tight sensation arises on its own. During the periods when I'm not deliberating, focusing, and can see the mind wander off into thought by itself, when this state ceases, there is something lingering stillness in the body for a while. Please tell me what to do next. Luangpu replied, you practice correctly. Keep practicing. Number 3, now you are fabricating the mind to be still and the dullness arises. Just know so that the mind was out. You don't have to try to pull the mind in. When the mind returns, you don't have to try to hold on to that too. Let the mind be ordinary. That is good. Right now you're fabricating the mind to be ordinary. Wrong. Don't do that. You keep fabricating the mind. Don't fabricating the mind. Know the mind as it is. Number 4, you have progress much. You have more mental strength now. Keep practicing. Number 5. I practice by sitting and observe the body breathing. I found that the mind is different each day. Some days the mind drifts outward and becomes restless. Some days the mind comes back clearly and know the body and become more present. Sometimes the mind turns inward and see the fabrication changing within. Sometimes it rests quietly. Sometimes it is happy. Sometimes drowsy. Sometimes the mind struggles. Sometimes the mind wants to be good. May I sit and practice for Luangpu to observe? Luangpu said, yes, practice. Number 6, I practice by being aware in the present moment, but the mind still becomes lost quite often. I feel the mind belongs to me. Please give me at guidance. Luangpu replied, don't hold on to the world. The external world is something that is unsubstantial. Be with yourself more. If you are with yourself more, then you will progress. Number 5, as you said, you sit and practice. The mind is out. The mind is not within itself. You don't have to try. See the mind breathe in and out. Know when the bodies move. As you sit and meditate, see the body breathing in and out. It can be calm or not, it's okay. Just you have to have mindfulness as you practice. Number 5, keep practicing. Next, number 6, give yourself time to practice. Don't have a lot of activities. That is a waste of time. หลวงพ่อ just guessing. Number 7, in formal practice, I chant, meditate, and do the walking meditation. Observe the precept has become easier. I am more mindful of the consequence of karma, and I feel ashamed when unwholesome thoughts arise. When I have to do something that would break the precepts. During the day, I observe the mind when it becomes lost or wander off. I have a temperament inclined toward anger. Before, anger had to be strong for me to recognize it, but after observing repeatedly, now I can see even the slight dissatisfaction. Now the mind is more equanimous. Please tell me what to do next. Luang Po said, good, you practice well. Number 5, when you are practicing samadhi, be careful that the mind is being drowsy or dull. You have to have mindfulness as you practice. Whatever you do, you sit and meditate, you still have to have mindfulness. Right now, the mind is lost. Number 5, can you see when you sit and meditate, the mind inside keeps changing, moving all the time. Don't follow it. See it moves. Be an observer. Number 8. Number 5, keep practicing. Be mindful continuously. As you sit, don't let the mind absent from mindfulness. Number 8, practice by being aware of the body as it moves and the mind and know how it feels. At the time when I practice from waking up until sleep, the mind gradually becoming accustomed of knowing on its own. Please tell me if I practice correctly. Luang Po said, you are fabricating this state. Let the mind, you are fabricating the mind to be happy, to smile. Know the mind as it is. Know the mind, do the mind as it is, know the body as it is. Not fabricating the mind. Number 8, you are fabricating the mind to be still, to be light, to be happy. Don't fabricating the mind. Otherwise, you cannot see the truth. Number 5, that is practicing correctly. So it's not out and it's not dull inside. Number 7, don't rush it. Be patient. Don't be greedy in your practice. That is all the Dharma talk for today. อนุโมทนาค่ะ